Good morning. Welcome to the February 17th Walton County Technical Review Committee meeting. Let's see, do we have, I think the first item of business to review and approve the minutes. Do we have any adjustments to the minutes?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Do we have any announcements this morning, Karen, Rachel? Okay. We will move right into project review. First item number 2, the Community Plaza. We have a request to continue to March 17th. Technical Review Committee meeting at 8:30 a.m. in this location. Can we have a motion at the dais?
Motion to continue.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this item is continued to the March 17, 2021 Technical Review Committee meeting at 8:30 a.m. in this location. Moving to item number 3 on our agenda, the Highway 283 commercial. We also have a request to continue to March 17 to allow this applicant an opportunity to appear at the Board of Adjustment prior to moving forward on this application. Can we have a motion at the dais?
To continue.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this item is continued to the March 17, 2021 Technical Review Committee meeting at 8:30 a.m. in this location. That moves us to item number 4, the Fairwinds RV Park. And the agenda says a request to continue, but based on discussions with the reviewer, this particular development needs at least a zoning change. So the recommendation is to table this item until the zoning change is accomplished and it can come back.
I'll make a motion that we table this item as discussed.
We have a motion to table. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is the applicant here in the room or on Zoom? Anyone representing item number 4, the Fairwinds RV Park this morning? Seeing no one in the room or on Zoom representing that project, we have a motion and a second to table. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this item is tabled and can come back once they've accomplished their zoning change. Next item is item number 6, item number 5, 393 in Newat Lane. This has been reviewed by Bob Baronti. Stephen Schoen is standing in for Bob this morning. Stephen, if you could briefly introduce it for us.
Yes, good morning. This is a minor development order application submitted by Anderson Engineering on behalf of Craig Terry and another owner. Requesting approval to build a 2,400 square foot office building on 0.34 acres with a future land use of mixed use in a zoning district of village mixed use. The project is located on the left side of Nuit Lane and is identified by the parcel ID in your staff report in front of you, which I would like to enter into the record, please.
Enter.
briefly looking over the project, there are some outstanding comments. But it doesn't look like anything that can't be resolved prior to DO issuance. I don't know if the applicant is available on Zoom or not, or in the office, or in the audience, excuse me.
Anyone here representing the applicant this morning? Anyone on Zoom representing the applicant? We do have some engineering comments that appear to be outstanding. Are you familiar with these comments, Bill?
Yes, sir. I made these comments. There's a few items that need to be addressed or clarified before I would feel comfortable moving it forward. Mainly some discrepancies in the geotechnical report and the stormwater management report. And I guess I had a comment about the 80-foot right-of-way protection zone and where that was dimensioned from, because it doesn't appear that there's 80 feet from the center line of the road to where they're showing that right-of-way protection line. So I'd like to see that dimensioned and clearly addressed to be sure that that's adequately dimensioned. We have some encroachment with the stormwater into the landscape buffer. I think it basically takes up the entire landscape buffer on that would be the west side. They build a retaining wall along the back side there. So I'd asked for that to be addressed. So all in all, I feel like there's maybe some reworking that needs to be done to get this one.
Well, and unfortunately, we don't have anyone representing the applicant to be able to respond, so I suggest we continue this to the next meeting.
I'll make a motion that we continue this project to the next regularly scheduled TRC meeting at 8:30 a.m. in this room.
We have a motion at the dais. Do we have a second? That would be the March 3rd meeting.
Second.
We have a second to continue this item to the March 3rd, 2021 TRC meeting at 8:30 a.m. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed likewise? Hearing none, this item is continued to the March 3rd, 2021 Technical Review Committee meeting at 8:30 a.m. in this location. And that moves us to item number 6, the Darlington 1672. Renee, if you could introduce that one for us.
This is a minor development order application submitted by Value Concepts Incorporated on behalf of Hemph Towers LLC. They're requesting to construct a 300-foot guide wire tower on 37 plus or minus acres with future land use of general ag and a zoning of general ag. Property is located approximately 0.6 miles on Cook Road in Westville and can be identified by the parcel ID in your packet. I'd like to enter the staff report into the record, please.
So entered.
On this project, sir, they have resubmitted. The only outstanding comments we had was from Eglin, which has now been satisfied. Also, I had a few comments in the staff report. They've also been satisfied by resubmittal, so we don't have any outstanding comments at this time.
And we'll entertain a motion to approve subject to satisfaction of outstanding comments and move forward to development order.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
This is a minor development, so we're going to take an opportunity to open a public hearing to invite any comment from any member of the public regarding this particular application. Is there anyone in the room present or on Zoom that wishes to make a comment on this application? Yes, sir. If you could come to the podium and state your name and spell your last name for the record, please.
I'm H. Buddy Robinson, owner and president of Value Concepts, and my last name is Robinson, Robinson. And this is a AT&T FirstNet First Responders Tower, and I want to ask thank y'all for approval. Very much needed.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. I'm here to answer any questions if you have any.
Any member of the TRC have a question for the applicant? Seeing none, thank you, sir, very much. We have a motion and a second on the table. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this item is approved to move forward to development order subject to satisfaction of any outstanding comments. And that moves us to item number 7, the last item on our agenda this morning, the Townplace Suites, reviewed by Tim Brown. Tim, if you can introduce it for us.
Yes, thank you. Good morning. This is a major development order application submitted by Baskerville Donovan, requesting approval to construct a 100-unit hotel with pool amenity and associated infrastructure on 1.53 acres with the future land use of mixed use and a zoning of coastal center. It's located at 39 Scenic Gulf Drive in Miramar Beach. There's a current hotel at this location that they're proposing to tear down and redevelop as this Townplace Suites. There's currently outstanding comments from planning, engineering, public works, floodplain management. In addition, there are also several outstanding scenic corridor comments with the change in the definition of the scenic corridor. This property is now in the scenic corridor where previously it was not. With that, I'd like to enter the staff report into the record and entertain any questions. Oh, and I did hand out public comment that I received last Friday concerning this project. With that, I'll answer any questions the board may have.
Staff report so entered and acknowledgement of the public comment from Sylvia Murray. Any questions from the TRC? And we're waiting for resubmittal on this list of comments. Tim?
Yes, I spoke to the applicant engineer yesterday. He had some questions on some of my comments. We went over it. I believe they're on Zoom. I don't know if they have any additional comments, perhaps from Bill's comment, but I did go over some of my comments with them yesterday.
Thank you, Tim. Is the applicant present on Zoom? If so, if you would raise your hand. Just this.
Bill, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. If you would introduce yourself and spell your last name for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Michael Langston, and I'm agent for owners, project manager with Baskerville Donovan. And I know there's several of the design team online listening to this discussion. And we did have some clarifications for some things. My last name is spelled Langston. I can't tell if you can see me here or not. Is it just voice?
Well, we don't have your video. I guess you'd probably have to turn that on yourself from your end.
On my end, huh? Okay. Good luck with that. Anyway, I'll pass on the video portion of it. However, I do want to introduce Jason Frick. He's prepared a response back to some of these comments, of which we have some comments. And Jason's online with us here this morning. He's just in the office right next door. We also have Baskerville Architects, which are online, and they also have some clarifications on some things that we need to discuss. And so I'm going to turn it over to Jason right now. I guess, do I need to lower my hand or just let him handle that?
I think his hand is up, and we will recognize him now.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, if you could state your name and spell your last name for the record, please.
Okay, my name is Jason Frick. Last name is spelled F-R-I-C-K.
Thanks, sir. Have you had an opportunity to review the staff comments?
I have, and like Mike said earlier, we have a design team on Zoom here, so there might be several people that need to ask questions. So if you guys are ready for me to begin, I can ask for some clarification on a few of these.
Sure.
Okay, so under the staff review comments, planning and development services, the first three comments, number one, it says the title information was provided. However, it was not incorporated into the survey, and we're just wondering if that is required to provide that title information on the survey.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the floodplain data, that we can certainly do that. I guess the question for number one is, I mean, the owner has owned this property for some time, and that normally would not be something that we would prepare to include in a survey, and that's the reason we questioned that.
Okay.
And then the third question here, we provided an owner, an agent affidavit, recognizing Mike as the agent for owner, Mike Langston. I'm not sure what this question is asking here. Provide an agent affidavit from Vic Shohan to Banyan Investment Group. So do you need two agent affidavits, one?
Well, are we receiving correspondence from Vic Shawn, or is he communicating with us?
He is not.
Do we have an agent affidavit for the Banyan Investment Group?
Those are the applicant. Banyan is the applicant, and no, he gives one to Baskerville, but he doesn't give one to Banyan. And it may be because there's two different entities involved here, but I made the comment because Banyan is the applicant, but there's no agent affidavit for them, for the applicant.
So Manoj and Vic Shohan are the owner of Banyan Investment Group.
That's not clear from the existing agent affidavit that we have.
Dick is the president. He can sign. He's the one that we've signed.
Vic
is the one that signed it.
Okay, Vic is the president of Banyan Investment Group.
Is this a domestic registered entity? Is it registered in Florida, or is it a foreign entity outside of Florida?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Banyan Investment Group, a Florida-based entity, registered with the Secretary of State, Division of Corporations. Or is it a foreign corporation registered in some other state?
I would have to defer to Manoj, who I believe is also online here.
I mean, if this is something we can look up on the Secretary of State website based on your annual report that identifies these individuals, that's adequate for our purpose. If not, then we're going to need an agent affidavit allowing them to represent the entity process.
Hey, guys, Mike Langston, one more time. I just got a call from the owner. He said Chohan Inc. owns the property, and Banyan Investment Company is the one that's doing the work for Chohan. So they're all one and the same, it's just an LLC. So the property is owned by Chohan Inc. And then Banyan is the company that they set up to do the work and change the hotel, but it would still be the same owner.
Well, here's what we need. We need Banyan to be the agent for the actual property owner entity. And then if there are individuals that are representing
Okay.
Banyan, we need an agent affidavit for them.
Okay, so
All right,
Banyan
and one of
Investment
those
Group
is
needs
gonna
to
be-
make Mike Langston the agent owner for agent.
Chohan Inc. owns the property.
Okay, well, the property owner has to authorize the applicant if the property owner is not directly the applicant. Follow me?
Okay.
Well, there was one and the same. They're all the same people. That's what we're trying to tell you. The investment group and the owner are one and the same.
Well, I understand that, but if they're two different entities, there's some relationship between the two contractually to do whatever you're applying to do. We can't see that from where we sit, and that's why we ask for the agent affidavit. So we know that the property owner actually is authorizing someone else to make application on their behalf, because only the property owner can make the application in Walton County. Unless you
Understood.
authorize an agent. So we're just trying to
Yeah,
clarify the line of authority with regard to who we're talking to. That's the
Okay,
purpose of the agent
that's not gonna be a
affidavit.
problem. We'll
It's-
provide the
Yeah,
correct.
this
paperwork
is simple
for
to
that.
work out. We just need a clear paper trail that whoever we're talking to about this application is actually legally authorized to file the application on behalf of the property owner, whatever entity that is. That's all we're trying to do,
Understood.
and all that can get worked out.
Yeah, that's not that was not a big issue. I just needed some clarification. It sounds like we need to demonstrate that a little bit differently the way we did.
Yeah, without us having to do a bunch of research.
Sure,
One of
sure.
the fastest growing counties in Florida, and we are way overloaded with people that want to do things in our county. So
Understood.
the easier you can make it for us, the quicker you'll get to where you're trying to get.
And that's what we want to do.
Thank you, sir. What's our next question?
Okay.
We'll go back up. Hey, this is Mike Langston. One more question about the title insurance or the title commitment. We didn't see that in your requirements within the land development code that says that information would need to be required on the actual survey. We prepared a boundary survey showing the limits and existing conditions like you would normally do in accordance with the rules of Florida related to boundary surveys. And you know, basically the owner is going to be the same. We're not changing any of that property. So normally that title commitment information would be provided to a mortgage company as part of the transfer of land and ownership of that. So that alter survey scenario would typically not be provided in a standard boundary survey. So I'm just trying to find out where that requirement is. If it's not listed in the land development code, then we didn't do it. If it is listed, then we need to know where, and we'll take care of it accordingly.
Section 1.13.
Section 1.13,
00.
okay?
Provision is where the director can require additional information. We've always done this. I mean, I've been here for 12 years. We've always required it, but I don't know that there's a direct code requirement. But just for clarification,
Bill?
that 1.1300 is where the director can require additional information.
Okay, so you're saying it's not specifically called out, but you're asking for additional information?
Yes, sir. One of the
Okay,
things that
we got it.
frequently shows up are easements. Government patent easements from the original subdivision of this part of this state from the 30s and 40s of last century. Or other easements that may impact the development site.
Okay, we understand. We'll take care of it.
Okay.
We were just trying to see if we had overlooked something on that. That's all that we were getting at, because we thought we were doing it in accordance with the rule there.
Yes, sir, thank you. What's our next question?
Okay, go down to, Public Works Engineering. It says, due to the lack of a complete set of civil plans, Dewberry cannot complete the review. We submitted a signed and sealed, grading and drainage plan and a stormwater management plan, as required in the application. Not sure what else is needed for this review to take place. If you guys can provide some clarity on that.
You checked on that, right? You asked the question? Yeah, and this is Mike Langston one more time. We did ask questions about that specific issue, about what needed to be submitted, and we actually called down to the planning group there and asked the question, do you want a full set of plans, or do you just want those individual sheets? And basically, we were told just the sheets. And now we're asking to submit the full set of plans. And, we're going through this development process, of course, so we have plans prepared. It's just a clarification for future work within Walton County here. If you want the plans, the full set of plans, we would prefer to do it all at one time and not piecemeal it back together.
Yeah, and then, this is Jason again. Someone did respond after this comment came in and asked for the civil plans, which we did upload, after that request was made.
This is a technical review, right? Not a conceptual.
That is
review.
correct.
In order to perform the technical review, we require a full set of plans to be submitted with the application. That's not what we have?
If you look at the application, I don't see that on there. It asks for a signed and sealed grading and drainage plan, a stormwater management plan.
And we did call and get a clarification on that about what was required.
Who did you talk to?
One of the ladies there in the office that was processing the actual importing the stuff into the planning portal, submittal portal.
Wasn't this covered in the pre-application conference?
Don't believe it was, not to that level.
Well, yes, we do require a full set of civil plans. They're broken down into individual sheets on the submittal checklist, just to make sure we have specific sheets in the full set of plans. But yeah, that's pretty normal for us to require that. Full set of plans with the application.
And we don't have a problem with providing that. I just,
And that's for permitting.
I don't know where we go from.
Permitting, not construction.
Where we go from here.
Permitting, not construction.
Right, that's right. And normally on developments, we provide the full set of plans for everyone to look at, so that you would have the review, but it looked like they were asking for individual sheets on the checklist. So that's the only reason that that was done that way.
Okay, well, that's really what we need, a full set of plans.
Okay. Go ahead, Jason.
Question number 3 in the same section here. It says, identify on the plan survey if the existing beach access boardwalk is public or private. There's a little parcel directly next to our property if you look it up on the property appraiser website in the Walton County GIS, portal, it has no information. There is no information that I can, determine if it's public or private.
Yeah, this is Mike Langston again. Let me add into that the, the owner to the southwest of this, who just built some rental property, has been in contact with the owner of the hotel. And he understands that there has been a walkway through there, and it's his understanding that that walkway, and he has a survey that illustrates that it is private, and that it is being used as a public access to get back to the houses and the condos, I guess, that accesses the beach down there. So as part of this development, we did provide an access point to that boardwalk from this property that would be on the southwest side. And there has been discussions between that owner and the owner of that easement, or the owner of that property, and the hotel owner about accessing that for the beach. And so and there was, some discussion, maybe even in improving that along the way, but at this time, we're not proposing that. If you go back to the property appraiser's office, they show it as if it's public right-of-way. But as far as we could tell, off-site like that is not public right-of-way. It's actually privately owned.
Yeah, it wouldn't depend on what the property appraiser's records show on with regard to the map that's on the internet. That's, in fact, there's a disclaimer on that map also from the property appraiser. It's not legal information, or can't be used as legal information. It's merely reference, so you can go find the actual legal information. But yeah, if y'all gonna have beach access, that needs to be part of this application. I'm not sure if you're aware or not, but in our county, we probably going to be going to the U.S. Supreme Court regarding customary use of the beach. We've been in a battle for the last several years, thanks to the state legislature passing HB 631, creating an onerous process for customary use declarations. And our particular county was singled out, and our ordinance was preempted by that state law. But my point is, there's a big controversy about public and private beaches and who has access to what. And that's further compounded by our beach activities ordinance, which was recently revised since the beginning of the year, and is still in the process of revision, that eliminates beach vending on private property unless you have a development order. So if we're planning on using that to get to the beach, it needs to be part of this application and approved as part of this application.
Okay, if there's already a boardwalk there, what are you asking us to improve?
Demonstrate that you have legal access to use it.
Well, demonstrate we have legal access to use the private property. Would that be correspondence or approval letter from the owner?
Yeah, whatever agreement that you're proposing to have with this owner, and we need to know that they are authorized to grant this agreement.
Okay, understood. We'll take care of that.
Because this will be a code enforcement issue if we don't resolve it now and get something specifically approved. Because we have we may have hundreds of these in our county.
Right, there's actually a formalized boardwalk, a wooden boardwalk in a access route to the beach through that guy's property that's been there for years. And so it's obvious that that's been used over a long period of time. So, but we'll get, the owner has been in contact with this person who owns the easement or owns the property. And there's been this ongoing discussion since we first started this process with him because he was notified of this public hearing and the variance we had previously. So he is aware of the situation. He is more than willing to help out. And he did just get his, building permit to build that building that's there now. So, we will work that out and have that back for you.
Okay. Very good.
And as far as, the civil comments, those are all the clarifications I had. I know there's some guys from, Baskerville on, the architect. If they want to get clarification, I'll leave that to them.
Okay. Anybody representing the architect, you'll raise your hand. We'll. Don't see any other hands up.
Raise your hand up again.
Oh, there's one. Jason again. Oh, Michael Harper.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes, sir. Can you state your name and spell your last name, please, for the record?
This is Michael Harper, Harper. I'm an architect with Baskerville for this project. We had some questions which we sent over to Tim through Jason yesterday about the building setback requirements. I guess there was a discussion at one point. The Chapter 5 gives a building setback of 25 feet. And then if you go to the scenic corridor, which we're in the section 6, it goes into talking about a landscape buffer of 25 feet or 20 feet if you have a sidewalk. So the right-of-way has sidewalks. So was some discussion with Tim yesterday, and it sounds like the initial interpretation of the code was a little off, and we thought we could go down to 20 feet per the scenic corridor. But it sounds like the building foot setback is set in Chapter 5 and not adjusted in that Chapter 6.
Okay.
Questions that they have in there?
No, I think it's really all we need to clarify. He clarified a couple other ones. Number 16, the landscape buffer. We're doing the alternate with the screen wall. It looks like we need to add some canopy trees. That's stuff we can look at. So other than that, I don't think we have any clarifications. I say that.
Utility stuff.
For number 20, on the staff review, it asks for bicycle parking for an eating or drinking establishment. I guess clarification here would be, we're a hotel and it has a buffet and an eating establishment for the hotel guests, which we're providing parking for. Do we still need to provide the bicycle parking as well? Since there is food being served, it doesn't really matter if it's a hotel or a restaurant.
The code doesn't specify. It just says if it's an eating or drinking establishment, you have to provide bicycle parking.
Here's our suggestion. You're building a hotel in the cradle of new urbanism, Walton County, which is heavily bike ped directed. I'd put in some bike racks, whether they're required by code or not. Your market is going to be riding bikes.
Okay. Yeah.
And we're making some tremendous improvements throughout South County as planned in the mobility plan that is under review and moving through the approval process now. And it is directed to focus on moving people and not cars. So we highly recommend adding some bike.
That's how we got the rejection.
Yeah. That's we can do that. I just wanted some clarification. That's really all the clarification we had. Tim did a good job of responding to our questions yesterday. So.
Okay. How
Thank
long,
you.
how long do you think, it'll take for y'all to get us a resubmittal addressing all these comments? What's reasonable for y'all? I mean, given that
Probably-
we have many steps here, design review board, to advertise for, just looking
I
at
think
what
I
our,
think we could probably have them back in a week and a half, 2 weeks.
One issue is they don't have any comments from Dewberry yet, so they don't know what to respond to. Have what you need now to make comments?
I haven't looked.
They did upload a full set of plans.
before, responding to the comments, our, consulting engineer Dewberry is gonna provide some comments based on the plans that have been uploaded since these comments were prepared, or the full set.
Correct.
I would suggest if we're going to continue it, we should continue it to the March 17th meeting.
That seemed like a reasonable timeframe. With the idea that we've completed all of the, or we satisfied all the outstanding comments for DRB also.
Well, I mean, they haven't resubmitted anything, but so.
But that would give them time to do that so they could go to April
Yes.
DRB.
It would give them 3 weeks before the staff report is due, so it'd give us 3 weeks from today to review anything that they submit between now and then and produce a staff report for that March 17th meeting.
Then it seems like continuing to the March 17th meeting is the appropriate course of action. You guys good with that on the applicant end? Jason?
Yeah, can you hear us here? It's Mike Langston.
Yes.
Yeah, we believe that we could have the plans revised and submitted back to you prior to the next, design review board meeting. And so I guess the question is, it does look like there's a delay between now and then where we have several weeks. We have to provide our plans 3 weeks in advance of the next, design review board. And we were trying to keep that on schedule, otherwise this thing will get pushed out into the fall. So just based on when the meeting's set. So, you know, if you could give us, you know, an opportunity to meet the next ARB board, you know, ARB meeting, then we would move towards that goal. Otherwise, it gets pushed back another month.
Well, the next design review board meeting is March 4.
Well, it's too late for that.
And
It'd be
we've already
April 1st.
placed the
April
advertising for
1st, I
that
think
meeting.
it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, April 1st. What would be the staff?
April
report
1st is the
deadline?
next board meeting. And that's the, goal we were shooting for, was trying to get whatever comments there were resolved so that we could be on that board and have all of our plans prepared, in advance of that with comments resolved.
Well, Aaron just said that the staff report deadline for that meeting would be March 24th, and we would have the TRC on March 17th, the week before.
Yeah, that, if we do March 17 for TRC, that will, set you up for April 1st for design review board. And that, we'll commit to going ahead and placing you on the April 1st agenda, because that ad actually has to be completed in about 2 weeks.
Okay?
So we'll entertain a motion to continue, at TRC until March 17 with the idea that, we have time to clean up all these comments, so it's ready to go for the April 1st DRB.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this item is continued to March 17, Technical Review Committee meeting at 8:30 a.m. in this location, and it's also approved to advertise for the April 1st Design Review Board. Thank you, gentlemen. That concludes our agenda this morning. Thank you very much. We'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
We stand adjourned.